Hello, welcome to the morning news. Our top story today is development in the UK, where the Conservative Party has a won majority in the Parliament with 322 seats so far. Prime Minister David Cameron will head the government for 5 more years. Opposition leader Ed Miliband announced his resignation as head of a centre-left Labour Party after a crushing defeat. The latest results show the Labour with only 228 seats of 650 in Parliament. Meanwhile, the Scottish National Party swept through Scotland with 56 of 59 seats, revealing an increasing sentiment toward the country's independence.
In short, I want my party, and I hope a government I would like to lead, to reclaim a mantle that we should never have lost, the mantle of one nation, one United Kingdom. That is how I will govern if I'm fortunate enough to form a government in the coming days.
Now the results are still coming in, but this has clearly been a very disappointing and difficult night for the Labour Party.
A joint commission in the National Congress of Argentina, composed of different political forces, has been formed to investigate the origin, evolution, and current state of the country's foreign debt. Leo Politico Duty reports from Buenos Aires.
The National Congress of Argentina has formed a joint commission to investigate the origin of the external debt of the country, which dates back to the last civic military dictatorship and all debt renegotiations that occurred since democracy was restored in 1983, such as the debt swaps, the 2001 default, and debt reduction carried out since 2003.
La crisis del 2001 es mucho más reciente, incluso tenemos
The crisis of 2001 is much more recent. We have many economists and policymakers who were in government in 2000 and 2001, executing what is called the debt swap and the shield program, which was a scandalous attempt to save the convertible currency model through even more massive debt, which was far greater debt than we had until that point in time.
Hiperendeudamiento mayor del que teníamos.
The commission was created by the Sovereign Payment of Debt Law of 2014. Argentina's foreign debt began to climb during the dictatorship when the regime set the foundations of neoliberalism in Argentina through speculative financial policy. The neoliberal governments that came after only deepened the problem, seeking international loans to pay off debt. In the 1990s, under neoliberal President Carlos Menem, Argentina privatized its energy company YPF, the national airline Aerolíneas Argentinas, and its gas and electricity companies, among others, to pay off its debt.
What the Joint Commission will do is study the entire process, because it's never been known how it originated and who benefited from it. What we do know is who's paid for it and how indebted this country ended up. So we must study and research everything that occurred in terms of the debt from March 24th, 1976 until now, including all the negotiations made during the Menem administration, the privatizations, the handover of assets, the pretext of the nation's foreign debt, and the handover of valuable assets.
Economist Horacio Rovelli, who leads the Treasury portfolio at the University of Buenos Aires' School of Social Studies, says that it was Presidents Néstor Kirchner and Cristina Fernández who finally started reversing the bleak situation of the foreign debt nightmare.
Una hipoteca que era impagable, imposible de pagar, no podíamos pagar ni siquiera la
mitad. The debt was a mortgage impossible to pay off. We could not even manage to pay off half of our external debt. Not even half. Néstor Kirchner achieved through a rebate of 65% and an extension until 2038. This degree of oxygenation that Argentina has experienced in relation to its foreign debt issue.
Interno en servicio de la deuda. Ahora ronda el 1%.
The Parliamentary Joint Commission shall issue a final report within 180 days on the evolution of Argentina's foreign debt between 1976 to date. Leo Politico Duty, Telesur, Buenos Aires.
Bolivia's legal battle against Chile at the International Court of Justice in The Hague enters its 5th and final day this Friday. The ICJ has been listening to arguments from both countries, while Bolivia says that Chile should deliver on promises to give it sovereign access to the sea. The Chilean government is now backtracking from any previous commitments, saying Bolivia should respect the 1904 treaty. Experts believe that the ICJ might accept the case, but in the end will not rule against Chile. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro is headed for Russia to participate in the World War II victory celebrations. Russian President Vladimir Putin met his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping and received Cuban leader Raul Castro Thursday.
First of all, I would like to thank you for the invitation for us to take part in such an important event of the anniversary of the great victory.
The end of humanity's worst and most deadly war is also being commemorated in Poland. The ceremony took place on Western Peninsula in Gdańsk. Among those present at the ceremony were Polish President Bronisław Komorowski, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, European Council President Donald Tusk, the presidents of Ukraine and several Central European countries. The global war ended May 9, 1945, after 6 years, during which at least 60 million people died. Saudi Arabia proposed a 5-day humanitarian truce in Yemen Thursday. This comes after weeks of airstrikes and fighting, as well as calls for ground troops to intervene in a worsening crisis. The Saudi government said the truce depended on the Houthi militia and its allies agreeing to lay down arms. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry welcomed the decision. He is visiting Saudi Arabia to discuss the Yemen crisis.
Today, we particularly welcome a new Saudi initiative to try to bring about a peaceful resolution through the announcement of their intent to establish a full 5-day renewable ceasefire and humanitarian pause.
And in New York, the United Nations General Assembly met to discuss drug policies. UN experts admitted that evidence indicates that the war on drugs around the world has failed. They said criminalization often creates more problems than it solves. Critics say some legalization of drugs is required in order to undetermined criminal gangs that thrive on drug trafficking. Hundreds of protesters outside the UN headquarters agreed.
So we want to see a reorientation away from criminal justice and towards public health. We also don't want the drug war. We don't want militarization in Latin America and other parts of the world. We want the human being and the people to be put at the center of drug policy.
And we end our morning news round with a Major League story. Alex Rodriguez blasted the 661st home run of his career on Thursday to pass a legendary Willie Mays for 4th on the all-time list. The milestone blow came in New York Yankees' 4-3 win over the Baltimore Orioles. His climb to baseball greats comes after his suspension in 2014 due to a doping violation. More on these on our website, telesurtv.net/English. Thank you for watching and have a nice weekend.